Okay, good afternoon. We're here at the Owen Sound Family Y. Can you tell us your name and your title?
My name is Trevor Clerks. I work a variety of different programs here at the Family Y, from front desk to fitness to youth to preschool programs, and I help program them and run them.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit about what you do here at the Y and perhaps at other organization that involves volunteers and specifically teen volunteers.
I run a program called called Leader Corps. Leader Corps is a program where we teach teenagers to become leaders over a certain amount of time. The program runs for 8 months, and we meet every Thursday to find different ways that we can get teenagers out there into the community, and not only that, but teach them to be leaders for the world of tomorrow by finding different ways to interact them with certain situations that they haven't dealt with, find ways to deal with situations that they are dealing with now, and stuff like that. I also help run different teenager programs like basketball and hoops and stuff like that, where I try to pick out teenagers within them to try to find ways to become leaders in that sort of sense as well. That's how I deal with teenagers anyway.
Very interesting. So what do you think are the best ways to attract or recruit teen volunteers?
I recently taken a a 8-hour session on finding different ways to find teenagers to interact and become more volunteers. The lecture was extremely boring, and I had no fun with it whatsoever. The presentator, personally, to my opinion, didn't have heart or passion into being a teenager leader. So I find personally that if I was going to get teenagers to become involved and become interactive, that you pretty much have to be that energy. You have to be that source. You have to be the reason why they want to be there. People will attract to you if you have that energy and you have that ability. Just I want to be here, and I want everybody else to be here. If you want to be there, those people will want to be there as well. So I find finding ways you can make anything, turn anything into turn anything into fun, but you have to have the energy behind that to do that.
Excellent point. So what would you say the benefits are both for yourself and the Family Y and for the teenagers to volunteer?
Well, our Owen Sound here is building onto a bigger facility there, the rec center on top of the hill. We need to find ways to get more volunteers into the Y itself, so our membership retention can stay up high. We can still get connected to absolutely everybody within the building. And Dale needs a cup. 1 second.
I didn't know you were going in there. What else do I need off of there? Is there anything else I have there?
Nope. Are we good?
I need Brandon's. I need this.
Perfect.
Thank you.
No problem. Sorry about that.
That's okay, we can cut that out.
So yeah, like I said, the Y itself needs extreme amount of volunteers. We need people to help run programs. We need help from people to run our teenager programs, to our preschool programs, to helping the average person come in, get comfortable with machinery, and the whole works. If we could flood the whole place with teenagers, I bet you our membership retention would go sky high, because we would have lots of people on hand to help out with certain situations and certain problems and help people just be happier in the building.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Now, what would the benefits for the volunteers, the teenagers themselves, be to doing all of this for you guys?
Well, the best part about being a volunteer is that you get that knowledge and you get that experience. And how I say the biggest way that I find in my Leader Corps program is offering an ability to get into the workforce without actually having to be in the workforce. For example, myself, I was thrown in the workforce at a young age, so I didn't really know what working was all about. I didn't know the situations that could be involved. I didn't know anything about that. Where as a volunteer, you can actually go out and say, okay, I want to volunteer being a personal trainer and work with a personal trainer. Find out if you really even like being a personal trainer or not. And then backtrack, well, no, I didn't really like that, so try volunteering with somebody else instead. I think volunteering at a base level should be mandatory for everybody. Because if you want to do something with your life, you want to do something for a job, I personally would volunteer. I volunteered here before I started working here because I wanted to know if it was a good job. So when I volunteered here and worked full time, and then eventually found my way into loving the position. So that's why I pursued it.
Okay, well, speaking of mandatory, so do you think the whole mandatory 40-hour high school volunteer hour issue is a motivating factor for volunteers
I
here?
think they should turn it into a motivating factor. I don't think that I think that we've installed it quicker than what we should have, We should have all these things in place. Like, for example, my fiance goes to University of Waterloo, and they have a certain amount of volunteer hours if you want to take that course, if you want to go that way. They find you the volunteering hours, and they talk to you, and you sit one-on-one and have conversations with different people, allowing you to know what you want to do and push you in those kind of directions. Where telling somebody you have to volunteer 40 hours a week and you have to go out and find it and all that kind of stuff, I find to be a little more challenging. Where if they had more people on hand to help you with that kind of thing, and maybe even make those phone calls and that kind of stuff and get things set up, I think it would be a better opportunity.
Very good point. And that was probably one of them. But what do you see as other barriers or challenges for teens themselves, and also for people like yourselves in recruiting volunteers?
Well, I think, like I say, what that comes down to is, for example, I was sitting here at the front desk, and I had a gentleman come up to me from the volunteering and ask me even if we do accept volunteers.
Oh.
And I explained to him that we do, and that I could get him into different positions and that kind of stuff, and we exchanged emails and so on and so forth. Where the advertisement's just not there. I'm sure I can go into 8-10 buildings just even down the street here, and I know that I could get people to volunteer in these places. But no teenager knows that. I don't even know, I couldn't even name 8 of the 10 stores downtown, right? Mm-hmm. So, but if you put that word out there, if we got the city involved somehow to find out a way that, okay, disperse it along teenagers and along universities and along high schools, saying these are the people that need volunteers, then you're cutting out that middle person. Now I'm not having to walk around the city trying to find people to volunteer. I know where to go, and I know how to get that. So I know, I'm trying to think here, I know the Bayshore needs piles of volunteers for its hockey programs, for the New Year's Eve program that we discussed earlier, where no one knows about that. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't even know the program exists.
Yeah, I think one of the unfortunate things that happened in Owen Sound is we had a volunteer center located in the Heritage Place Mall, and the government funding was cut out, and we lost that place.
So you want to insert something into a situation, but you don't want to fund behind it.
Exactly.
How can you, you can't have that. Like, I understand you want to build your education up so it's one of the best educations in the world, but you don't want to put money underneath it. You just want it to grow without any fertilization, without any water. Mm-hmm. You can't have that. It's not going to happen.
Okay, and I'm not going to comment there because that's a whole topic in itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think are the best methods of providing teen volunteer recognition? Ways to thank them that they truly
We have a plaque on our wall that.
Oh, do you?
For our Leader Corps program, at the end of the Leader Corps program in May, what we do is we get them all together, and then we award one person out of the group the recognition for being there, for volunteering all the hours, for helping out, for being there and being a leader. We have that for our Y. Personally, I don't believe recognition should be so high. I think thanking somebody for coming in is more recognition than anything else. Remembering somebody's name and going, thanks, John, for helping me out there for those 5 minutes when I needed a leader there. You were there and you helped me out. I run, for example, different small little things where we build crafts and stuff like that, and then we paste them along the walls. Something, advertisements or something along the lines of the Y, or advertising Leader Corps itself, where I'll pick out people from leaders within the groups. You have to lead these 4 people, and we have to figure out an advertisement to work for this Leader Corps program. So one person helps lead, and everybody else brings their opinion, and one person makes the decisions, and so on and so forth. Then afterwards, I go up to them and I thank them for being a leader in that situation. It's got to be hard. I'm sure it's a big situation, but they still did it, and they're still recognized about it, and they're still happy about being recognized about it.
Yeah, everybody likes to be recognized. Simple thank you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that there are big situations that have to be built, but there can be little recognition for everything as well.
I agree. What do you see in the future regarding teen volunteerism? You know, here at the Y or here in our, Owen Sound, Grey Bruce communities, do you see it growing, getting smaller?
I really wish it would grow. I really wish that it would turn into more of a situation. My personal dream and goal would be that this might be a little much for such a small thing, but I believe that volunteering should be massive amongst Grey Bruce. I think that at some particular time, I would love to go back in time and go back to grade 10 or 11 and someone approached me saying, what did I want to be when I grow up? And then even list off the top 3 things. And then say, okay, so they find me volunteers within that situation to figure out whether I really wanted to do that.
Wouldn't that have been nice? I agree.
So, exactly. So, what are the top 3 things? An auto mechanic, a personal trainer, and a librarian. Okay, perfect. So they find me volunteering within that situation. I get my 40 hours worth of volunteering and I'm helping the community, and I'm also helping myself out because I'm getting to figure out whether I wanted to be a librarian or I wanted to be an auto mechanic.
Win-win situation.
Exactly.
So in conclusion, do you have any other comments that you'd like to share with us regarding teen volunteerism?
I really hope that over the particular time that we find ways to make it a priority. I understand that that teen volunteering has no funding because it's not it's a priority, but it's a freelance priority. People have to approach me, people have to ask me if there's volunteering, where if it was a funded program, if we had the volunteer center on top of in Heritage Place Mall or somewhere out there, that we could actually build on that and we could build a great volunteering situation. We have the stepping blocks now. People have to volunteer to graduate. But we haven't provided the stepping blocks yet. All we've done is said that they're there, but we haven't provided them yet. So I think that if we really got together on it and figure out a way, like these teenagers are tomorrow. I have a 6-year-old son, and these teenagers will be leading my 6-year-old son someday. They will be telling my 6-year-old son what to do. And if we don't build that now, then what are they going to tell my 6-year-old son what to do, right?
Very, very good point. I thank you very much for your time, Trevor. Good luck with your dreams.
Yeah.